All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Attorney Simone Redwine, and thanks for joining us with Girl, is that legal? No, I apologize. We had a little rough start. We were making sure that we didn't have any echoes because those drive me crazy. But I am really excited to introduce my guest co host for today. As we get the link going, Jamar, go ahead, text me the link to my phone so I can send it over to my Facebook and stuff. But I want to introduce each of my co-hosts. So first up, we have Attorney Latasha. How you
Hey,
doing,
girl, hey.
girl? She is a Florida attorney who specializes in both tax and trademarks, as well as just being an overall boss woman. Thanks for
Thank you,
joining
girl.
us, Latasha.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We also have there in the middle Attorney Natalie. And
Hello, hello,
Attorney
hello.
Natalie also hails from the great state, the crazy state of Florida, um, where she has her own practice as well. In there, she practices personal injury as well as estate planning. Welcome,
Thank you for
Natalie.
having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, welcome. And third, and of course not least, we have my homegirl, paralegal Nicole, who also hails from Florida. Welcome,
Hey,
Nicole.
Simone.
Hey, girl. And Nicole is both a realtor and she focuses on civil litigation, which is trial law. Welcome, Nicole. Welcome, welcome.
Hi. Good
Thank you, all three
evening.
ladies. Oh, thank you, Kamisha. I see you're there. Again, ladies, I'm so sorry for the late delay. Let me know when you sent me over, when you were able to text me the link so I can share it on my Facebook page. So we're going to get into it, guys. So here's how we're going to do it. Every other week, I want to have one of these girl chats, right? On Girl, is that legal? Where we talk about the hot topics of the week. But we also allow a viewer to send in a question and come on and let's talk about it. So we've got a few hot topics that you'll see at the bottom of the screen on the left. And then towards the end, we're going to have one of our viewers call in. She's going to call in. She's going to be anonymous, of course. And she's just going to ask us, her homegirls, a question. Now, before we get started, we got a disclaimer. We're just your homegirls. We are not your lawyers, okay? So this is for entertainment purposes only, and we encourage you that if you need specific legal advice, to contact an attorney in your state. Right, ladies?
That's
Correct.
Absolutely.
correct.
Okay. Did I miss anything before we get going?
No.
Not at all.
No. All right, y'all. So first off, I wanted to get started with Miss Mariah Carey. Honey, honey. Miss Mariah Carey, so is trying to steal Christmas, y'all. So by that, what I mean is now we know she has like the number one Christmas album every year, all of the years. Did my echo come back? Okay, good. Just making sure.
Hmm.
Your headphones are so loud that I hear them. Sorry. Oh, okay.
I hear an echo.
You hear an echo?
Mhm.
Oh, can y'all turn, ladies? Are one of you guys watching it on live or on something? You hear an
No.
echo, Jamar. Do you hear it, Natalie? Do you hear an echo? Y'all let me know
No.
in the comments
Well,
if you hear an echo. Maybe it's just myself. Um, but going back to Miss Mariah Carey with
No,
her,
I think it was my computer.
thank you. Okay, so you turned it down a little bit. Gotcha. Okay, we got it. So with
Hmm.
Miss Mariah, she literally filed to trademark Christmas, more specifically, Queen of Christmas. So Miss Mariah has then decided that she should have the right to use the term Queen of Christmas, QOC, and even Princess of Christmas on damn near everything from uh, coronavirus face masks to doggy treats, lotion, and dog tags. Okay.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that? Do you think anybody should be able to own the term Queen of Christmas?
well, to
I
be
think it's
honest,
a bold choice.
Well,
Absolutely. What'd
well,
you
to
say,
be
the
honest
thing
Nicole?
with
that
you,
the
to
thing
be
that
honest with
got
you,
me
it
was
has
that
it has
there's
already been. Sorry, it's
Oh, hold
already
on.
been.
Let's hear Nicole, and then I'll go to you, Natalie.
Okay.
the thing that got me is that with Mariah Carey having so much money, her legal team should have already done research and found out that there's this woman named Elizabeth Chan who is the US's only full time Christmas singer songwriter. So they shouldn't have even let Mariah go forth with this trademark.
Hmm.
So Mariah just made a fool of herself. And although she has the best all time, all my Christmas, the the song, what all I want for Christmas is you. Everyone loves that song. Everybody knows that song. It's top of the charts all the time. Anytime you hear that song, you think of Christmas. You think of Mariah Carey. But they should have told her, sorry, MC,
No
stick
way.
with the butterflies. Christmas is not yours. No one has a monopoly over Christmas.
Right.
If anyone does, it's Jesus and Mary. But Christmas is for everybody. It's not just for Mariah. You can put a
Absolutely.
trademark on Christmas. And on top of that, Elizabeth's daughter name is Noelle.
Oh, poor Elizabeth. Now, Natalie, let me set this up for the viewers to just let them know what the conclusion was before we go back to you, Natalie, which is that so Mariah applied, and then what happened is once someone applies and then it goes to what's called publication, there's 30 days where anybody out there can oppose it. So this woman, Elizabeth Chan, she filed an opposition. She said, quote, I don't believe that anyone should have the right to trademark Christmas. Christmas belongs to everyone. What if someone wanted to knit a bunch of shirts, she said, that said Queen of Christmas on them and then give them to their granny? Well, if Mariah were to win, they wouldn't be able to do so. And that doesn't seem right. That was her sentiment. So, sure enough, what happened is when she did that opposition, Mariah Carey's attorneys knew better. They didn't even respond. Their failure to respond meant they lost and Elizabeth won. So, in exchange, so what happened in the end was Mariah did not get her trademark. Her trademark was denied, and we win because now we can all be queens of Christmas. Natalie, what would you like to add?
So, what I was just going to add with that is, in addition to Elizabeth Chan, she's the only one who filed the opposition. There's also a woman by the name of Darlene Love, who David Letterman christened her Queen of Christmas nearly 30 years ago. So, her, in addition to Elizabeth Chan,
That's right.
opposed Mariah's Carey, actually Lotion LLC, from trying to trademark Princess Christmas, Queen of Christmas, and QOC. Now, what Mariah may be successful on is Christmas Princess. She did the reverse, and that trademark and service mark is still active.
Gotcha. But now, if anybody
So
out there feels
But
like you
but but
also
with
should be
that,
Queen Princess, the Princess of Christmas or whatever, hey, you could do like Elizabeth, and you should be like, well, you know what? My granny calls me the Princess of Christmas, and maybe like if you got a picture of yourself, in a shirt that your granny gave you that says, Princess of Christmas, then you could submit it, and you could be like, well, I'm her too, and then you could win as well. Who
but
knows?
Mariah will fail on that because Noelle is the princess
Ooh,
of Christmas. She already did that for her daughter too. So
there you go.
Elizabeth has covered almost all the bases with
Go, Elizabeth.
Noelle. So Elizabeth's team was on it. And in 2018, the New Yorker did a profile on Elizabeth Chan, and they dubbed her
What they say?
the Queen of Christmas. Elizabeth has so many products. She already has everything that Mariah wanted.
Now let me take
She has it
this.
for her daughter too. Her daughter is the princess of Christmas. So I am so sorry, Mariah. You should have thought about this long
I hear you.
time.
I hear you. Now wait a minute. Let me
but
bring
the
this back. So
clarification
what
I
this
was saying was Christmas Princess, not
gotcha.
Princess Christmas, Christmas Princess.
Now let's transition to something very related, though it's on the same topic, because ultimately, like I said, the girl who won the opposition, she basically said, I don't think anybody should own Christmas. Well, let me tell you, I
Yes.
feel the same way about Juneteenth. Hell, for black people, Juneteenth is almost like our own form of Christmas. And if you recall, last 2 years ago, right after the George Floyd activism and the protest, all of a sudden, corporations were willing to recognize Juneteenth and even gave us the day off. By us, I guess I mean all Americans, because even non-slaves get the day off. But as a result, Yeah, I think we should get to stay home and they should
Tasha.
have to go to work for once.
Send him to
Shit,
work.
since we had to work for 400 years,
We don't
we
need to
get to
work
stay home.
anymore.
Y'all gotta work. But
Just give us the check.
exactly. But what ended up happening is then, and once it became more known, basically white people, black people, everyone knew about Juneteenth, then a bunch of people started applying for the Juneteenth trademark, including, you might recall, there was a company, a white-owned company, that made Juneteenth ice cream that was going to be sold in Walmart. And so they
Yes, Ben and
trademarked the
Jerry's.
name. No, no, it wasn't Ben and
No?
Jerry's. It was a undescript company. It was a company I hadn't heard before. They make a lot of different little products that are sold in Walmart, but they applied, and social media got wind of it, and we all kind of made such a big stink that they actually formally abandoned their trademark. However, last night I did a search, and currently there are 37 current applications for people seeking to trademark either the word Juneteenth by itself or some derivative of it. And what gets me is Juneteenth is the same as Christmas. So if you can't trademark the word Christmas, which you can't, because it is descriptive of Christmas goods, do you agree that? Do you guys think that people should
Sounds
be
like
allowed
your
to dress
opposition is
Juneteenth?
ready. Sounds like your opposition letter is ready.
It is ready. I mean, I got a lot
Yes.
of things to do. So, I mean, I don't know if I have time to do it, but I'm just saying, anybody out there watching, maybe you got a granny who's homebound, but really good on an iPad or something. Maybe we can have her write us up a little, opposition, just a cute little one pager, or, maybe one of you, were any of you guys in the Juneteenth pageant at your mama's granny's church? Maybe you could take a picture of you guys, at the Juneteenth pageant and be like, no, I oppose this because I am Miss Juneteenth. I mean, I
Anyone has
wasn't
a
in the
crown?
pageant.
But it just burns me because I just really feel as if, as a culture, we've been exploited enough. And, I can go on a tangent with it as far as, whatever we have as a culture, it ends up being quote unquote a fad. Quote unquote is it. So anything people can make money
Shamara, either come
off of
closer
something that
or
is
just put this whole thing.
indicative of us that we've created or do from the sweat of our backs and
Agreed.
from our blood, sweat, and tears, you know, they are going to try and make money off of it. And I hate to say it, but hopefully the USPTO does the right thing
Right.
and they deny, they reject um, all of the applications.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's and talking about it, and I know it's a segue, not a segue, but a tangent. But thinking about with Kanye and his shirts with White Lives Matter.
Mm.
I don't know if he made money off it, but I believe two black gentlemen, um, they filed for the trademark of White Lives Matter, and they were going to sell it. Kanye wanted to use it. Literally, they had to pay him. He has to pay them $1 billion to
Tasha,
be
you want
able
to
to
speak
use
on
it.
that one? You
Well,
want to kind
they
of
didn't
clarify?
actually file it. Someone else filed for the trademark and then tried to assign it to them. I don't know that they actually
Okay.
have ownership of the trademark at the moment. I know the assignment was in process, and I don't know where they're going with it. I did see that Kanye abandoned trying to use it once, social media got a hold of it, and the gentleman from the podcast that it was assigned to started going basically on their media tour. He kind of abandoned it and said, "Oh, the intention wasn't to make money; it was to call attention to blah blah blah." Miss me with the bullshit, respectfully. We don't do Yale over here. So, as of right now, there is an active application that is being transferred or assigned, but has not officially been transferred or assigned under
Gotcha.
USPTO.
But let me be very clear for you guys on how trademark, both use and opposition, works, right? Which is that it's not the first to file who wins the rights to use it. It's the first to use it, right, Tasha? This is more Tasha's lane. Generally.
Technically,
Technically.
almost always, but not always.
Yeah. Okay, so generally. So in this
Yes.
context, what that can mean is this. Hypothetically, if someone had worn a White Lives t-shirt, White Lives Matter t-shirt back in 2020, and they can say that that was a business of theirs, that they used it in that kind of form, or that it's something that should just belong to the community generally to describe them, then they could oppose this pending application by simply saying, hey, it's descriptive of me. I'm a white guy. I think my life should matter. I made a poster that said this when I was opposing BLM. And the trademark office could come back and say, you know what? You're right. It's not descriptive of a company because a trademark is supposed to represent a source, not a slogan. And that's where a lot of people get confused. It is not for slogans. It's supposed to be the source of a product, like Nike, like Savage Fenty. Not a slogan such as that. All right. Let's segue. Let's go on. Let's segue to what do we want to do next? Do we want to do Porsha and her prenup, or should we do Kim K? What y'all thinking?
Since we're already talking about Kanye.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, because Porsha's a little round face man.
We could talk about Porsha later.
Yes. All right. Who wants to kind of open up with the Kim K divorce coming up? So the gist of it is after the man Kanye, who wrote the song talking about gold digger, now has to pay his wife
it's always the ones
$100,000 a month.
I think he got what he
I
asked
just
for.
want to say that's what he gets.
Come on now. Come on, period.
I mean
period.
that's
Preach,
the moral
preacher.
of the story here. He can't complain. He can't fuss about it. She's not wanting for money. She's not hurting. She's Skims.
She has more money than he does.
Billionaire. Yes, absolutely.
And she declined spousal support. So, I mean, let's keep it tall. Take care of your kids. They're entitled to what you
but that's something that I don't see him not taking care of his children. I believe he eventually will run into a financial hardship because due to his
behavior,
recent comments and drama and loose lips. He's losing his financial endorsements and his contracts. So, and even though it has not been disclosed, at least from what I've researched as far as terms of a prenup, I think that was part of the terms of the prenup, excuse me. And everything else, it's 50-50. Does anybody know the 200,000 a month is per kid or for all
of them combined?
Well, so what it is, it's so they have 4 kids, so it's $50K per kid.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, that's just
so
that's
it's for child support, and what since both of them Kim has a little bit more than he does, and we just really don't know, hide assets. Chris having that church that she does. Did you guys know that Chris
Wait,
Jenner
who has a church?
Chris Jenner. Yes.
A church of what? People follow her? What?
Chris Jenner has a church. Because with churches, you can hide assets. And all of her children donate 10% to her church.
What she has is a tax shelter.
She's going to hell. I'ma pray for her.
But Chloe said it herself. Nobody works harder than the devil than Chris Jenner.
Somebody said nobody but the devil works harder than Chris Jenner?
No, I said Chloe said the only person who works harder than the devil is Chris Jenner.
Chris the pimp. Wow. Well, I mean, if she's pimping the system, that's between her and Jesus or whoever is her God. Money in this instance. But yeah, that's very interesting. We lost Nicole, but what was particularly interesting to me with the Kim K divorce come up, y'all, is the fact that California is really unique in how they calculate child support. Y'all lean in on this. If you don't hear nothing I say today, what I do say is if you end up in a situation where you have a child and you have to take the father of your child to court for child support, you want to pay really close attention to what state you file in. Here's why. Every state calculates it different. I live in Texas. Texas has a cap. Texas does 20% of, let's say the dad, whoever doesn't have the kid, 20% of their income, no matter what. If they work at McDonald's, it's 20% of that. If they're A millionaire, it's 20%, but Texas caps it at $2,500. Whether this man
Oh,
makes 90 million or 110,000 or 50,000, it is capped at 2,500. To the point where there's a
Yes.
basketball player, Chris Bosh. He played for Miami. He bought a house in
That's why
Texas.
he
He went
moved
to
to
high school in
Texas.
Texas. And even though he played on the Miami Heat and was making something crazy like 12 million a year, his child support was
That's why
at the
the
time
Boshes
capped at
moved to Texas.
$1,500 a month. And
And
because
that's
she
why
filed in
Elon
Texas,
Musk has
because
a
she filed in
residence
Texas.
in
However,
Texas.
she when she realized it was that low, she tried to switch and have it governed by Florida because he was on the Miami Heat. But the court said because in Florida it would have been $30,000 a month. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the court said, "Nah, sis, you already filed in Texas, so and you live in Texas, so we have to go by that." Now, this is
That's too
relevant
much.
here because, for example, with Tristan, Tristan and his little loose stick, Tristan, he had a baby with that girl who is from Houston.
the
Oh,
trainer.
what's her
Yeah.
name? Marie Martinet, whatever her name is. The personal trainer. Well, she must have went to a good lawyer because when she realized she was pregnant with his kid, she got on a
Yeah.
plane, flew to California,
Yes,
and
Marley
ma'am.
filed
Nichols.
in California. So rather than dealing with the Texas cap, which has now been raised to $2,500, she gets, I think, is
The
20,000 a
shame.
month. She gets like 20,000 a month. Yeah, 20. Well, I say that to say California uses income shares, which is where they combine both spouses' income. They add it up and say, if you guys were in the same household, how much would the total income be available to support this child? To keep it equal, let's say that number is 100 million because they're really rich. So you add them all together, it's 100 million. If they say Kim brings in 50 of that and Kanye brings in 50, nobody pays anything. It would be like it would not quite, but they basically take how much you make, and the person who makes less, basically the other person has to help support them. Perfect example, Halle Berry. Halle Berry had that baby with the model. That even though Halle had the baby
Aubrey.
full time, Aubrey, she had her child
Mm-hmm.
all the time, full time, and he was every other weekend. She still had to pay him $10,000 a month. She was hot, hotter than fish grease, hotter than
But you
fish
know
grease,
what? That
y'all.
But
that's
she should
very
have known.
interesting.
She should
Should
have
But
have
you know what? That's
known.
very interesting because if you decide that is a loophole around alimony.
Ooh,
Because if you choose or you have a prenup and you agree, hey, I'm not going to receive alimony, or spousal support. In the case of Kim and Kanye, they both declined
okay.
spousal support. Um, and eventually, what I did exactly what you're saying, Simone. I do believe that Kim will. Well, Nicole, you already said it. Kim is already making more money than Kanye.
Right.
So
So
if
that's
this
why I'm
is in,
surprised
yes. So,
that
so
he
if
had to
this is
pay
this
her so much.
because this is in California, and they've both denied spousal support, she will probably end up having to pay him in some form, even though she's
I see.
receiving 20,000. Well, excuse me,
200.
200,000 a month per child. I mean,
okay
excuse me, for all children. Um,
Mm-hmm.
per
he's
month.
gonna he's gonna end up supporting her, and she's gonna end up supporting him. And one thing, when this came out, and she is relieved to have the divorce finalized. Be careful what you ask for.
Ooh, elaborate.
Think she's
Come
saying
on
it's
now.
cheaper to keep her. It's
Ah,
cheaper to
got you.
keep her.
Oh,
And see, another
also,
thing is
go ahead.
Kanye. Remember
Not
the
only
house
that,
that
but
he
she
bought
had
for
been
his
after
sister?
him for years. Let me stop.
Hold
Kanye
on, Natalie.
ended
Hold
up
on,
giving
Natalie.
her. Kanye ended up giving her that house. That's
Oh,
not
that's right.
in the settlement as a gift. Kanye ended up giving her that house. You know what? For your worries and your trouble, not only am I going to give you the 200K per month, and you get 80% of the kids, even though it's supposed to be 50-50, I'm going to be extra generous. So you can't never say I didn't do
She gets
anything.
8% of what?
No, she has the kids
80%.
at the time.
She has
No, it's
80% custody
50-50.
of the house, of the kids.
Even though
Ooh.
it's 50, she has
And she gets
80% of the
80% custody of the kids, even though it's the agreement is
That's probably for
split
the best with the
50-50.
way he behaves.
And the monthly bills, tuition, clothes, security, everything is split 50-50. The expenses for the kids are split 50-50. And in the event, so if any negotiations as far as the arrangements for the custody of the kids needs to be renegotiated, there has to be a mediation. And if either parent does not appear at the mediation, whatever parent decides, say I could say, okay, I want to have full
Send Shauna
custody
your
of the
number. She
children.
needs to know what number to call in.
If Kim doesn't come, I get whatever I want.
We'll fix that
I
later.
get whatever I want. So,
Gotcha.
and um, in the agreement, it said that Kanye must sell that house. So instead of Kanye selling the house,
Thanks.
Kanye just gave it to her.
Gotcha.
He just
Now,
gave it to her.
just one more thing in conclusion before we wrap up this topic is that, just to be clear though, I did get one question, which was, can Kanye pay it all up front since he's likely going to blow his money? And the answer is, you could, but that actually wouldn't be wise of him to pay all the child support up front. The reason being is he can always get it lowered. If his
I'm about to
income,
say he probably gonna get an
Correct.
adjustment.
yeah, he can
Correct.
get an adjustment later. So, and that's it can be adjusted either way. If someone makes more money, you can always go back. I think in Texas it's like every 2 years you can go back if they if their
Good.
income increases, if it's either been 2 years or that their income has increased by a certain percentage. I think it might be 10% or I can't recall. But every state has their numbers. I actually wouldn't advise anyone to pay in advance because you never know, you could even die, right? If you die, your child support obligation ends. So you shouldn't pay it up front.
Or if someone remarries.
No, child support
No,
won't change.
no,
Good
no, no.
question.
That'll
That's
say
but you're
spousal
That's
support.
alimony.
alimony.
No, you're right, but
That's
that's a good
alimony.
point because some people have asked me like, "Hey, I'm about to marry this person and they have child support arrears." And it won't impact the calculation of the money, but it could impact other things. But let's go ahead and let's wrap on up. Let's skip Porsha and her round faced man for this week because TJ Holmes popped up, and I cannot wait to get our anonymous guest on here. But Latasha, can you update us on who TJ Holmes is and what
TJ
this
Holmes.
brother
Woo, child.
done wrapped himself up in, y'all?
TJ got me the show code today. So TJ and his studies are the anchors on Good Morning America. I think they're on GM3. Anyway, the long story short is that they are both married. TJ is married to this beautiful woman who honestly, I don't know why sis didn't leave him a long time ago. I don't know if y'all seen
She's a beautiful
the
sister.
screenshots and the memes today.
Yes.
And she's an
And an
attorney.
attorney.
She's intelligent.
And she's
Yes.
a lawyer. And she's a lawyer. She's a
Mhm.
lawyer, like my New York self would say. She's a lawyer. So he on their 10-year anniversary, and I don't know if y'all seen the meme
Oh my
and the
God,
the
she's so
screenshot,
trash.
but it was the most backhanded shit I had ever. When I tell you to pop that man in his fucking sleep,
Tell him
he
what
wrote
he
in
did,
there.
sis. Tell him.
He wrote in this little 10-year post, I gave her so many reasons to leave. I gave her so many. I can't believe she stayed.
He literally did.
Yeah.
I bet y'all punch in the eye.
In other words, I cheated multiple times before, but
over
she
I gave
and
her
took
over again. And
it.
then what really pissed me off was that he also went on to say, but then put on like her strong black woman cape, and she saved me and no, we gonna
Right.
stop the strong black woman trope. Like that gives you an excuse to drag us through the mud. No,
All
pack
Absolutely
that
right,
not.
shit away.
Kanye.
We
All
don't
right,
want to be
Kanye.
strong. We don't want to be strong.
And
Treat us like the lily
then
white lady you got.
again, true to the Kanye lyric, get on and leave her ass for a white girl. Because now he's sleeping with the white ass co-anchor. Like,
He really was.
she married too.
Oh,
But not only that, the
but
co-anchor.
Latasha, not only that, but her husband deleted
Hold
all
on. Natalie,
references
Nicole was talking.
of
Let's let her
her.
finish and we'll hop back over to you.
She has his co-host. This will be her second divorce,
Mhm.
and her husband, she just got over a bout of cancer, and
Wait,
her
what
husband
happened
was
with the
there.
dancer? You're breaking up a little bit.
I said she just got over a bout of cancer, and her husband was there supporting her through
Oh,
everything. So who knows if through all of that, she was just like, once I feel better, TJ, I'm gonna
come
spread these
slide up on it.
legs
Get it. How
again.
she said it, girl? How
And
she said it, Nicole?
sorry, we just gotta wait all this through, and I'll be ready to throw it down for you. And you just, hey, take me to that cottage, and you better spank that butt.
Natalie, what do you think?
I mean, from a
Wait, she's
legal
home.
standpoint, it's actually common. I think the attention has been brought to it because TJ Holmes is, absolutely fine and gorgeous and everything else, the icing on the cake. But workplace
I mean, he doesn't
relationships
own
are
Disney. He's not icing on the
work
cake. He's just
workplace
I'm gonna
workplace
text them.
he's
You
relationships
know what
he's
she
a
are.
told me?
worker.
No, absolutely. And okay, so also, let me just give you a little bit more of her background. So her background includes, um, she went to, I believe it was NYU for undergrad. I could be wrong on that, but she got her law degree from Vanderbilt. They met because he is from Memphis, and he had been working as a anchor in Memphis and would come travel back and forth. He met her. She graduated top of her class from Vanderbilt Law, which is a top law school, but she also received a Vanguard Law Award because she did immigration law for a number of years and became in-house counsel to Wilhelmina Models. And part of her
Yeah, his wife is
job
very
was,
accomplished.
yes, exactly. Part of her job
Extremely.
was to ensure that when women from the Congo, from Africa, from around the world were brought over to America to be supermodels, that they're treated fairly, that their immigration paperwork was handled properly, and that they were not trafficked or taken advantage of. Okay, so she's someone who's, she cares about others. They do have a child together. This is his second divorce. Well, we don't know that he's going to get divorced yet. This is his second marriage. His first marriage was also to a black woman. He has two kids from that marriage. But his current wife, she's biracial. Her father is a white man who went over to the Congo in Africa as part of Peace Corps mission. So she comes from, people who have instilled in her to give back and help others. And her mother is Congolese, is from the Congo. So she is, it's my understanding. I'm not sure whether she was born here or there. From what I've read, it appears that she has an American dad, but may have been born over there. But regardless, it's just another one of those things where it's just like, okay, it looks like she's done everything right. She's beautiful, she's kind, but good Lord, he done embarrassed her one too many times. However, if you see these pictures, y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Drop your comment below. Here's what I think. The photos that came out, those were too good. Those are private
They
detective
were
photos.
so good.
Absolutely,
I
she
Those
feel
knew.
are
like
private detective
she
photos.
did
I
know. I feel
believe
like she hired a PI.
that's what I was
She
going to
knew.
say. I think she hired a PI. She was sick of his shit. Okay? She said, I'm ready to go, but I'm not about to go until I have what do we as black women always have? Our receipts. So she done
Come
tacked
on.
up her receipts. Somebody might have leaked them. I'm not saying it's her, but somebody seen them and said, oh, this is juicy. Okay?
Listen, I
And
agree.
let them
She
go.
definitely got a PI and she got a PR team, and they understand the assignment, and
Excellent.
they on that ass. They on
Excellent. 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 Are we ready for our next? Awesome. Okay. So although Nicole fell off, we'll see if she joins. We are now ready to add our anonymous guest. All right, Nicole, you ready for her? All right. Yeah, we're going to add our anonymous guest. So we're going to give her a second. So this is our anonymous guest. And here's the thing. If you have a question that you'd like to see if you could have answered by us and my guest panelists of the week, feel free to submit it to ask@girlisthatlegal.com. You can absolutely be anonymous, as this person is going to be, and I actually recommend it depending on what your situation is. So here's how it's going to go. I did a little pre-screening and I spoke with our home girl. This week is a home girl. It could be a home boy, whoever's going to call. I did a little pre-screening. I'm going to set up the scenario and the facts. And then each of you are going to get to ask one question, right? One question. And, we'll give her a chance to give an answer. And then after that, I just want kind of your synopsis of what advice, not advice, because we're just homegirls, but what suggestions you might have. And here's our disclaimer. So our disclaimer again is this is for entertainment purposes only. As attorneys and paralegals, you have not engaged us. Okay, you need to talk to an attorney in your state. So don't come up over here and say I listened to the free suggestions that you got from us, your homegirls on the internet, and be like, I had this or that challenge. That's why we're telling you our first advice is go talk to an attorney in your state. All right, Anonymous, are you ready?
Yes. Hey,
Okay, great.
y'all.
Hey, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
All right,
Thank you.
so here are the general facts, and just let me know if I have it generally correct, and then they're gonna answer some more. So her general question is this: I'm a mom of a teenager, and my baby daddy has been hiding his assets from me. I've been trying for a few years to get the courts to order a reasonable amount of child support, but he keeps hiding his money. In our most recent hearing, he didn't even show up. But the court told me that because I can't prove how much he makes, that they're going to set it at the absolute minimum for the state. What is there any suggestion that you have that I can use to help figure out how much money he makes? Is that generally it?
Yes, and how do I go about finding those financial records?
Got you. Okay, and let me start with this. You are in one state. I won't say what state, but you're in one state and he's in a different one, right? Or I can say what
Correct.
state. I'll go ahead and say what state because that is
Yeah,
relevant. I'll say you're in one state and he's in California. So a
correct.
different state. So to start, you generally will get more ordered in California. I'm just going to tell you that. But you
I
want
was
to,
about to say, where did she find it?
Yeah,
yes.
go
So we'll
with the
start there.
California story.
And you want to, is this currently pending in California?
Yes.
Great.
So I
Okay,
did
good.
file in Texas and they sent it to California
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
said they didn't have jurisdiction over him.
And you're lucky on that because I spoke earlier, you
Very
weren't able to
lucky.
hear it, but Texas has a max that's pretty low compared to California, which has no max whatsoever. So we will start
Okay.
there. All right. I'll start with Tasha. Tasha, do you have any question that you want to ask her for any clarification? I will say
Yeah,
this. Hold on. Professions.
go ahead.
What's his occupation?
He is a realtor and he also owns about 20 to 30 rental properties
Got you.
that I
Rental.
understand are in a trust or his LLC, not in his name. That's why,
Ah, that's to hide him from people like you. Does he have others?
Yes.
Is your kid the only one under 18?
correct. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Tasha, what you got? What question you got for her?
Oh, so I wanted to know if his tax returns had been requested by the court.
Yes, that's what our
Who
whole
pays-
court hearing was a couple weeks ago was for him to present his LLC taxes because he didn't
Mhm.
turn in any paperwork at the original hearing and he just failed to show up and didn't submit anything either. And they basically said they have no numbers to go off of, so they can't pull something out of the air. If I can present them with something, then they can work with that.
Gotcha. Natalie, what you got, boo? Or you
So,
want us to come back to you?
it's estate planning, and I've done asset protection as well.
Ooh.
I do
Yes.
as well. Have you hired a private investigator? When I say a private investigator, um, your PI, yeah. Have you hired a private investigator?
No, I have not.
Okay. All right. And then we're going to go to Nicole. And then after that, each of you kind of will get like a minute to give your like initial kind of suggestion. So, Nicole?
Okay, anonymous. Okay, so who do you have a private attorney or are you working with the state? And
Great question.
what has been done to find any assets that the
Great
prior
question.
significant other has?
So I am unrepresented at the time. I was just working with the agency. I have reached out to the um, county recorder's office, I believe that's what it's called, in the county where he resides, to ask any properties that are listed under his name to show ownership, because I know of some from us being together. I knew of a few, but I didn't know of the entire list. So I have gotten a list recently just showing, yes, he does own those, but that doesn't show how much he's making off of them. It's basically what the judge says. Like, I can show them he owns them, but that doesn't mean anything to them. So that's pretty much the only information I have so far.
Gotcha. Okay. And ladies, actually, before you give any conclusions, or oh gosh, excuse me, y'all, I'm sorry, my eye. I'm not good at these fake lashes. I think I put glue in my eyeball. So if my eyes start watering, I promise I'm not crying like I did on every other episode of Damn Ready to Love. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys this information. Now, anybody who knows me in real life or otherwise knows in my spare time, I love doing background checks. So Anonymous gave me his information, and I'm going to tell you what I found, Anonymous. Feel free to ask him
Ooh,
questions.
cool.
Yes. Okay, now, number one, Anonymous doesn't have an attorney. I want you guys to know, when it comes to this stuff, it sounds to me like whatever the judge said, you guys were before a judge, right?
It was actually a commissioner.
Oh,
It
hell
wasn't
no.
an official judge. It was a commissioner.
That,
Mm.
order in the court. Okay, that was the first part. Here's the thing, because I've never
And the
heard of a
commissioner
court.
knew better.
Right. Or
Yeah.
they're
Right.
probably not attorneys. So a lot of times they'll have you go in front of like a mediator. And a mediator sometimes is an attorney, sometimes they're not. So that's commissioner person may not have even gone to law school, or they may just simply
Yeah.
be an attorney of some sort, not even necessarily specializing in this. So the bottom line is what they say, they are just like the first place that they send you when you don't have a lawyer. And this is how you get treated when you don't have one. Now, the first thing is, I'm going to assume you didn't hire an attorney because you weren't sure if you wanted to spend the money.
Correct.
Okay.
I wasn't sure it was going to even out. Is it going to be worth me
Right.
spending this money, and can I really collect?
Gotcha. So a lot of people don't know that many family law attorneys, except they have like relationships with finance companies. Listen, in the same way that people go to Rent-A-Center and they pay $10 a week for a goddamn coffee table, you can pay that for your lawyer. So for my clients,
Really?
I use a company called ePay. And how that works is, depending on what the retainer is and so forth, or what we think the case is going to cost, I send you a link, you apply for financing, and then I get paid up front, or actually you get the money, you can give me the retainer, and etc. And you can make monthly payments of, I'm talking $125 a month. But
Okay.
you may have access to $20,000 if that ends up being what it costs. So I just say that to say, you can be creative and find attorneys who have partnerships with these payment companies. That way, because you end up losing out now or losing out forever. So it's just better to go ahead and pay for that counsel that's going to get it right. Because
Kind of like care credit.
like care credit, exactly. But instead of for your titties, it's for child support.
It's for your
Yes,
legal
it's for
fees.
child support. And that's because they treat you differently when you don't have an attorney. And this is a perfect
They do.
example. Because there's no way he should get it set at the lowest for not turning in his information. One of the ladies in
Right.
the comments
He
said
should have.
he
He
should
should
be in
be sanctioned,
contempt.
actually.
He should be in contempt. And whoever said that was like absolutely right. But because she's not an attorney, she probably didn't even know, Anonymous didn't even know to make that motion. But here's the first thing that I said. You said he's a licensed realtor. Hold on. If you are trying to get your child support set or adjusted, if this is a person who works in a licensed profession in your state, damn near every state has a law that says, if this person is behind on their child support, we can snatch that license up. California does. If they are 30
Florida
days or
does.
more behind.
Florida does as well.
Yes, almost every state does. They do it for realtors. They do it for lawyers. They do it for a goddamn plumber if they need a license. They will take your professional license and they will take your driver's license. So if you're saying he has all these properties, if you're able to get his license suspended for this BS, he's going to come up with some money. He's going to show up to a hearing, etc.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, with realtors, is you can go to Zillow.com, put in their realtor name. It will show you all of their home sales for the last 3 years. The general commission is 3%. Do that calculation. I did it for this fool. In the last 3 years, he sold about 7 million
Wow.
worth of property. $7 million for the last 3 years. Even if you had the basic paralegal Nicole, she's also a realtor. If you
And
had just the
and
basic,
for Florida is the DBPR,
there you go.
division
But it's generally
professional
about a
Yeah,
3%
because I'm
commission.
also a realtor in Florida. It is the DBPR, and they will run that ass down.
There we go. But it's about a 3% commission. So 3% of the 7 million would have been about $225,000 worth of just commissions from real estate sales that he's made over like the last 3 years, I think it was. Now here's the other thing, looking for his income. Honey, you said he owns different properties. So then the first place that I went is go to the county deed records. Okay, you want to go to their deed records and you put his name in. That will tell you any and all property deeds that are under his name. Now he sounds a little shisty, like a little scammer. So I figured they probably
Pretty
are
much.
not all in his name, and I was right. I found his trust. This
Who
little
needs the
rabbit.
FBI
Come
when you
on,
got
come
black
on.
women?
I
Who
found his.
needs
You
the
mentioned
FBI
his
when
Boy,
you
I
got
found his
give us
trust.
a good maybe 15 minutes.
And I know that it's his trust because one of the properties is co-owned by the trust and himself, and then it gave everything from himself to the trust, right? And they were both the grantors. Sorry, he was the grantor and he gave it to the trust as the grantee. That's how I know. That's how he put it into the trust. So we have now located the trust, and you can demand those records. Secondly, I found this little raggedy LLC. That LLC is trifling.
Ooh, what do you mean by
In our
trifling?
didn't you tell me in our pre thing that he tried to say in court, it's multiple members of the LLC? Didn't you say something like that?
Yes,
Did I use
yes,
that
he
up?
was not.
He is a
Yes, that is
goddamn lie.
correct.
Here's how we know. I put first. Sorry. I put in the LLC's name in the state, which is the state of California. You can see the records. It showed when he initially filed it, he was the only member, and each year since, it shows his renewal documents. He is the only one listed. Second, this mofo got a PPP loan. I found
Don't
it.
they all?
Did-
Don't they
yes.
all?
He
Don't
got a
they
PPP.
all?
He got a PPP loan. So I put in the LLC because there's a search now. You put in the LLC and it'll tell you how much of a PPP loan. And it also said how many employees. It said one, which is
Himself.
him.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And you know
and
what? One
hold
thing
on.
I took joy
Not your
in.
turn yet, but I'm coming to you. Oh, yeah. I got you, girl. I'm going to summarize this up because I want to hear your comments on all of it, y'all.
Ooh.
So I did a lot of PPP loans for self-employed people. Some of my main clients were realtors, right? Because of the fact that realtors are independent contractors, they qualified. So it was not scammy for him to apply. But what it does mean is this. The PPP loan maximum is 2.5 times your income maxed at, is 2.5 months your income maxed at $20,000. He got the max.
Ooh.
He got 20. It says this thing rose. Oh, I'm not even gonna say the city, but it says the city. He got $20,832. That means he stated on that form under penalty of perjury that he earned for 2021 over $130,000.
Ooh.
Print this shit out and bring it into court, and you have proof
Ooh.
that for the date he was approved was January 25th, 2021. Then that means for that year, and he got 20,832, and they forgave 100% of it.
Wow.
So he's
Yeah.
he should
So
have
you
owned
have that
Trifling.
proof there
On
too.
trifling.
Yeah, and then finally I'll say with real estate, every time you do a real estate sale, you get a HUD form, right, ladies? When it's residential, you get a HUD form. It says exactly how much commission goes, the dollar amount that goes to the homeowner. So you'll want to subpoena and get those records, and it says what goes to the commission to the realtor. That'll let you know all of his commissions as a realtor. It breaks it down. And more importantly, I saw he's bought multiple homes in the last 2 and 3 years. You want to subpoena those application records for mortgages because whatever he put on that is like swearing under penalty of perjury. It is mortgage fraud to lie on those. He got a $500,000 plus house. That means he would have had to stated income of over like 130, 150,000. We're on our way, ladies. Ladies, what else you got to add? Tasha,
All I will say, anonymous, all I'm going to tell you is, yes, attorney Redwine made the appropriate disclosure. We aren't your attorney, but like I said,
we
hire a private
homegirls.
investigator. You said no, you have one. Okay, you
That's
absolutely
see.
have a PI. But with your PI,
Yes.
take the information that has been provided and found on your behalf, and another state you want to try and check. He's dumb because no, I would never ever recommend any of my clients or anyone do their LLCs in a state outside of Delaware or Nevada. You want the anonymity. So, Delaware has
Absolutely.
anonymity. You can't type in the name and find out who owns it. A lot of, for asset protection purposes, a lot of companies are formed and found in Delaware. And
Very true.
your PI will be able to. And then also, if he's hiding assets and not just in LLCs, it may be in the name of other family members or close friends. So
Yes, good
when you
point.
do, a check, or your PI does a check,
Yeah.
they will also, he or she,
Excuse
or
me.
they will also do a background check, and the names of friends and family, excuse me, will pop up. So look into them
My eye.
also. But that is truly
Awesome.
my suggestion.
All right, thanks, Natalie. Who wants
Okay,
to hop
thank
on it
you.
next? Tasha or Nicole? Tasha.
I'll
Oh,
go.
and excuse me, y'all. My eyelashes, just eyelash. I'm about to rip this sucker off. So continue. Ignore me.
Do
I'm be bald
what you
headed
need
by
to
the
do so you can
eye.
see, sis.
Thank
So
you.
two things.
Ah,
Aside from working with the PI, if you can afford it, get yourself a forensic accountant. They will track
ooh.
down every
Ooh.
dollar that ever come through that man's pocket.
Okay.
They will find every stitch of money that he's ever given to anybody to hide, any stitch of money he's ever earned. They will literally piece the puzzle together for you. If you can afford it, if it's in the budget, get yourself a forensic accountant. They're that girls, and a lot of people don't know, but they are that girl.
That girl.
For real. Additionally, like everybody said, ask for the judge next time, because the judge is who you want to talk to. Because just because his money's in trust don't mean you can't get it. The state of
Yes.
California, most states, but definitely the state of California, because I just looked it up to be sure, they will attach a support order to a trust. So if he want to
Woo!
play that, "Oh, I don't got it, look in my
I
bank
love my
account,"
girls.
fine. If your trust got it, we'll take it from there. Whoever got it, we want it, we shall have it.
Yes.
So good luck.
Okay.
I wish you the
Now,
best.
thank you. Now, you said a forensic accountant. Is that a normal CPA, any CPA
No,
firm,
No,
or they're
no,
specific
no.
forensic?
no,
Okay.
no.
Explain what it
They
is,
Oh,
do a
Tasha.
whole different thing, baby. They do a whole different thing.
They're specifically for
okay.
court. So they literally
Okay.
do the investigations and it'll come
Mhm.
with the certifications that you need attached to the document so you can hand it
Okay.
to the judge and the other side won't be able to say, Your Honor, I object, that's hearsay. Because they will have exactly what they need for it to be admitted
Mm,
in court.
okay.
Almost
Okay.
equivalent of an affidavit.
Yeah. Nicole, what you got?
And in regards to the PPP, because Simone was saying that,
Yeah.
he applied for the PPP and he paid, because they were saying the PPPs are forgivable. Yes, and they are, and a lot of people did forgive. But it sounds like this guy is a shyster and a scammer, and I work for the government approving the PPP loans, and I also sent thousands of people to prison because they were scammers.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to see, and you need to talk to your attorney and look to see who he applied for the PPP. Look for the banks, asking to see the banking
It was
institutions
Wells
who
Fargo. I got
he
it right here. I just I just
Wells
texted it to you,
Fargo,
sis.
Wells
Wait,
Fargo
wait.
was one of the
They
prime
one of the
banks
biggest.
that the PPP loans did fraud, and
Oh,
he
hold
had
on.
no fun.
That also just dawned on me because we now know it was a Wells Fargo loan. That means it was deposited into a Wells Fargo account, which means if you need to garnish, you're going to
Hmm.
start at Wells
With
Fargo.
Wells Fargo.
Yep.
Ooh.
And
Ooh,
make
yes.
sure that whoever he works for, they may need to be, their accounts may need to be subpoenaed as well. The garnished accounts need to be put on hold and
Yep.
see if the loans were put into their names as well or fictitious accounts, because like she said, it was one person. And any time that I saw that the PPP loans had one employee fraud, automatically red flag,
Why?
And that's usually when they
automatically
ended
red
up in
flag,
my office.
because it is shiesty
That's
that
right. You
you
did
have
mention.
one employee and that you are getting a PPP loan for one employee. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have employees,
Yeah, I
plural.
actually did it for a bunch of people who I generally did it for realtors, truck drivers, especially truck drivers, because
Truck
they
drivers
would
do a lot.
get a 1099. So to clarify, it's legal if you're getting a 1099 because you're an independent
Correct.
contractor. It is not so that's why I generally did a bunch of realtors, because realtors I would make them give me their HUD forms, or if they were working for a brokerage, the brokerage would give them a 1099.
You
So
you
it's
were
very
you
clear.
took the words out of my mouth.
Yes, but if you don't have a 1099 from someone, or you don't have clear bank statements and or a tax return that says I earned this much money, you get out of here. Yeah,
Now, if
you're
he
going to have
has
a
his
problem.
own brokerage, that kind of looks, you may need to, but if you know that he has employees, you need to look at everybody that works for him to see if they got PPP loans
Yeah.
or if
Well,
they
now we
filed
know
PPP
on the
loans
form, it
as well.
says here on the PPP thing, it says he didn't have any. He was his only employee. So we know that there too. Well, ladies,
He may be a,
yeah, it does
we
seem
got to
pretty
look
He
out for
shady.
sis.
sounds slippery. Yeah, he sounds slippery.
Very
Check
much.
Oh,
everything.
very,
Well,
very.
Anonymous, we really appreciate you coming on. We hope this was helpful. And after your next hearing,
Oh,
come,
very much.
definitely send me an update. We want to know how it goes. And ladies, I wanted to thank you for joining our panel this week. I had fun, girls.
Thank you guys
I
so
had a
Oh, so
great
much.
do we.
time.
Make
Thank
sure
you.
you
Yes,
hit the
thank
like and
you.
subscribe button. And what else am I forgetting? Oh, we got a question. The one about, okay, it says you only got one
The
eyeball.
bell
Oh, do I
notification.
know the
You
best
forgot to tell them to hit the bell
discrimination
notification.
attorney in DC, Maryland, and Virginia? I very likely do. Darlene, so this is the email address I want you to email me at. Do it at ask@girlisthatlegal.com, or you can call me at 1-855-4Simone. I spell it with a Y, 855-4Simone. Give us a call and we will refer you to someone in your area based on the facts. So we just probably need to know a little bit more about the facts of your case to get you to the right place. Same thing for anyone else, and feel free to submit a question if you'd like to come on, whether you'd like to be anonymous or you're welcome to show your face too. Well, thank you, ladies. Also, hold on before we go. They want to know, how can they reach each of you. So give your social media. You can give your firm, your website, whatever you'd like. Starting with you, Tasha.
You can find me on Instagram. It is Lessington, LESSINGTON_law. Yeah, I'm on there all the time and I'm very entertaining. So click
She
follow.
is.
You don't want to miss it.
Got it. All right, Natalie.
If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram, Saint period Michelle, Michelle, or email me, info at hutchinsonlawgroup.com.
Awesome. And Nicole.
On my Instagram, it is at Nicole Hutch, NicoleHutch.
Oh, they're sisters, by the way. Not twins, just sisters, in case you're wondering. Like, oh, yeah, they have similar faces and the same last name. Well, thank you again,
Well,
ladies. I definitely want to have you guys back. You guys were a ball. Thank you, and thanks for tuning in, guys. Make
If
sure
you
you share
enjoyed the
this with a
show,
friend or loved one.
we'd love to come back again.
All
Thank you.
right. See y'all later.
Thank you.